Good morning, this is day 96 on my hike from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm feeling a little demoralized, just feel like nothing's going right for me right now. But I just gotta keep moving forward and trust that it's gonna bounce back. I heard some weird noises last night in the forest there. There was a really weird, kind of loud, my left foot is hurting so bad right now. That's that stress fracture feeling thing. It's not good. I heard a very weird loud noise, probably 6-7 times at least, maybe 8. And we just concluded it was maybe some kind of strange bird, but maybe that was wishful thinking. I don't know. There's also the sound of what we believe were falling trees. Three times I heard before I went to bed. So I think it's good that we did not stay anywhere else. We stayed somewhere safe back there. It's like a little after 7:15, so I got an earlier start today. This heavy pack is just killing my spirits and physically too. My feet hurt a lot. I hope they warm up. But I'm really worried about this left foot thing. Came right back right after I said something, of course, naturally. So yeah, today is Mount Lassen Day, so I'll be going through Lassen Volcanic National Park. I got about 2 miles or so to get to the border of it, and then 19 miles to get through it, because I can't camp there with the gear that I have. I would need a Ursack or a bear can, and that will be a good day. Probably try to just go a few miles after the park. Need to hit at least 25. Ideally like to do more, but with this pack weight, I just don't know if that's gonna be realistic. And gosh, I hope my left foot warms up, because this is not good what I'm feeling right now. All right, I'll catch you all in a bit on trail. As explained probably ad nauseum yesterday, I was planning to ship 3 days of food forward, and now I'm carrying it. Well, the whole point of that again is to try to avoid having to go into town, because it just takes time to hitch in, and then you get there and you do errands, and it's just a kind of a time suck. So I mean, I'm not as efficient as other people. I've gotten better, but well, I also mentioned I had service at the beginning of getting back on trail. Tried to get a video up onto YouTube. It got somewhere in the high 70s or low 80s percentage wise, and it didn't work. But that took over half my battery, actually way more than it. I had a 100% charged phone, and when I went to bed last night, I was at 21%. So I had to use my battery pack to charge it back up. But there's no way I'm gonna make it 7 days to Mount Shasta on these batteries. And since I'm filming the vlog, meaning I'm gonna have to stop somewhere to charge my phones anyways, which defeats the whole purpose. I mean, the frustration, the deep-seated frustrations I feel with this whole process, I just can't describe. Like if you really think about what I just said, it's so frustrating and dumb. Entering Lassen Volcanic National Park. Well, I just realized I have no music on my phone. I was like so desperate for space. It was the last thing, basically. I deleted all my message threads, everything. And I had to delete Spotify, like all the music I'd saved down a long time ago, but I kept like 2 or 3 playlists. And I got so desperate for space those last day or two, I had to take all that out too. And I did not. I reminded myself once, and then I guess I forgot. Also just a gazillion little things I had to do. Did not get anything re-downloaded. So I have, after I dumped all the photos onto the flash drive and cleared up space, didn't download any music. So I have nothing. No music. Probably for 7 days, although now I might have to stop somewhere to charge my phone. My left foot is hurting. This is like 5 days, 6 days, trail days in a row now. I'm really not doing good right now. This is one of the most frustrating points I've had this entire trail. Feels like nothing is going right for me right now. I am 2 miles in, and the level of pain that I am in multiple places in my feet is as if I've walked 25 miles already. I am so freaking pissed off. So it's constantly something. Rest days seem to do nothing for me. This is just not fun at all right now. This looks really cool and unique. Kind of Yellowstone vibes. It's a boiling spring lake. I think someone told me the temperature is almost like 180 degrees or something like that. Or there is, I know that the lady who drove us, Debbie, told me, yeah, but you can see it smoking over there, or the heat. Very cool. I haven't seen something like this since I was in Yellowstone when I was probably like 12 or 14 years old. Well, getting to see that boiling spring was super cool. Just a unique part of this trip so far, this hike. And something I haven't seen in a long time, as mentioned. So very happy to just have a little different experience with what I'm seeing today. There's 2 fawns there. And the mom was leading them somewhere. There she is. There's a lot of deer at this point, so I don't usually film all of them, but with the babies, kind of cool. Wonder if she's trying to explain to them that these used to be full of green pine trees. Mom's definitely been keeping an eye on me. Seeing some structures in there. It's the Drake's Bad Guest Ranch. Guess it's in Lassen National Park. Yeah, I saw a little smoke come off this. I touched it. The water is very hot. Or I would say very warm. It's like in between very warm and hot. Five miles in, I just stopped at a campground down there to drop my trash off and fill up water from a spigot. And ended up talking to someone named Hugh for a little bit about the trail, which was nice. And now I'm continuing on my journey. I can feel my backpack straps rubbing against my bare skin because the holes are right on top of my shoulders, kind of the delts area. Doesn't feel great. Might be time to get a new shirt. I really wanted to complete it all in one, but it's really starting to wear out. And I could not be more satisfied with this shirt. It's an Echo hoodie by Outdoor Research. Spent a long time deciding which one to get. I'm talking like days of research, and I'm so happy with this choice. The amount of wear and tear this thing's been through, the fact that it's still held up this long is pretty amazing. Quite a climb up since the trash dump break. I haven't looked at the elevation. I kind of want to, but I obviously have a ways to go still. My shoulders are really starting to hurt from the rubbing of this packs. So I gotta figure this out. I'm gonna have to sew it or get a new shirt. It's pretty big holes at this point, like the size of a tennis ball. Well, this looks fun. Gotta cross this. Swan Lake. It's Lower Twin Lake in the backdrop there. Trail should be going close to it, and that's where I'll grab some more water. I'm about 12 miles in. I am struggling a lot again. Same reasons and ways described earlier and yesterday. Trying to hang in there, but I'm not feeling the drive that I've had the last few weeks, the last month, and I need that to get through these days. There's no other way. I already took my lunch break about an hour ago. Way early today, both time and mileage, but I started the day earlier. I had a smaller dinner yesterday, so I was a little extra hungry because I've been up for longer and didn't have as much to eat. And usually I take a break around 7 or 8 miles, sometimes in that range, to split the morning in half. So I kind of flipped it, so I ended up making that my meal and took a longer break. So now when I would normally take my lunch, probably in like an hour or so from now, I'll take 5 more miles. I'll take like a 15-20 minute break. But I am so struggling right now. I'm so sore. This pack weight's lugging me down and feel lethargic. And it's not finding the drive right now to think. I'm just struggling thinking about how I'm going to do this intense, 25, 30 miles a day for the next 60 days in order to make it. This might be the first buck I've seen. He saw me and then didn't have a care in the world. Just kept going. Hello. So I've got about a 6 mile water carry, and I've got 7.5 miles or so to get out of Lassen National Park. At which point, high level, because when you zoom in on the elevation map, and it's always going to be some ups and downs, right? But like high level, it looks like there's a pretty good section coming up here for a ways where there's no crazy climbs or anything. Obviously there'll be some climbs and whatnot, but it's an anomaly based on what I've seen this whole hike so far coming up. I might be misreading it, but if not, and that is the case, that'll be a nice, much needed small piece of relief given everything else that I have described as going on. I think this looks kind of cool. Those two pyramid kind of esque mountains in the background that do have live trees, and then this section in front that's kind of rolling hills and burn zone. Stretch here, flat, smooth, not rocky trail is a huge breath of fresh air. I hope this continues for quite some time. That's not usually the case. It never lasts for very long, but I'm hopeful based on the elevation profile and some comments I read that this next stretch of, I don't know how long, but meaningful miles, like tens if not scores of miles, I will have a little bit better terrain than we've had. There is Mount Lassen. Very easily identifiable. The height and the snow. I believe it is an active volcano, hence Lassen Volcanic National Park. I'm not at all minding this flat stretch here, even though my feet are killing me. I'm only 15 miles in on the day. I feel like I'm 30 in. It's not fun, but very grateful for this part of the terrain. If this was more, I mean, I already climbed over 2,000 feet today, but I think the bulk of the climbs are done for the day. Really happy for that. There's a town coming up in maybe like 15 miles or so, which is called Old Station, but it's only a little ways off trail, like a quarter mile or something. I'm not planning to stop. There'd be no point really just lugging all this food if I was going to stop in all these small towns. If I had more time, I'd like to stop in all of them. That's part of the experience to me. But my main priority is finishing in one stretch without skipping or cutting material corners or anything like that. So, gotta keep trekking on. I should also add, it's not like there's good resupplies in Old Station or these small towns necessarily. If there was, I would just take the time penalty of going into town and shopping each time as a trade-off for the weight penalty, which is obviously slowing me down when I have 40 plus pounds on my back instead of like 30. But it's hard to know without having been there. Like, there might be a small convenience store, but it's hard to know what they have, and you just can't really rely on it unless there's updated recent comments specifically saying what they stock. So, like, for that reason, Bernie, which is the next kind of big town, is what I would have hitched in, but that's where I was trying to send the mail, the items in the mail to, and instead I'm carrying them. My feet are hurting so much from the weight of this pack and just their overuse for the last 1,300 miles that, like, I can't even go 5 miles right now, flat mostly. Like, I just had to stop and sit on this log to take the weight off for a minute. Just looks so cool peeking over. I think what I really like about Mount Lassen is it's not like a whole range of high mountains. I mean, obviously there's other mountains around and stuff, but you can really just see Mount Lassen peeking out, and that's very different from something like the Sierras, and it just looks very cool, like a very noticeable, recognizable landmark from 100 plus miles probably in every direction on a clear day. Or let's say 50 miles. I know I could see it from 50 miles. There's 145 trail miles, but I think it was maybe like 40 or 50 like straight line miles. So whatever it is, get the idea. I see some new pine trees coming up here. Good to see. I'd love a peanut butter blizzard from Dairy Queen right now. Not any of the imitators, although places like Culver's have the concrete mixers there are great, and other places have really good ones, but kind of the original Dairy Queen blizzard peanut butter cups. Sounds amazing. I'm 19 miles in, taking a water break and a rest break. Elevated feet, which I just rinsed out in the creek, just cool water, and they were dirty. And you saw his gravity filtering. I'm gonna try to do at least 9 or 10 more, 8 to 10 more, I'd say, but I'm pretty beat up. This pack weight's not helping all the other issues. But the terrain's pretty agreeable, so we'll see what I can get done. I woke up scratching. I have bites all over my legs, and they're itching a bunch again. I think they're mosquito bites from when I was in Chester, but just adding to the factors out here. I think when I took that video the other day of all little crickets hopping up. I call them crickets. They're definitely grasshoppers. I just couldn't, name didn't come to me then. My unrelated came to say this too. My left foot is not doing good. This is like 5 or 6 hiking days I think now, but this has been an issue. I feel it in every step. It feels like it's in the bones at the top of my foot. It's not good. Honestly, all the people who skip this section, I think, are really missing out. I've really enjoyed walking next to Mount Lassen for the last like 5 miles or so. The burn zone's not been that bad at all. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. If they hadn't skipped up till now, it's just a silly reason to do it, I think. But anyways, each their own. Everyone's on their own journey and doing it their own way. But I really actually I just talked to 2 people, the only 2 people I've seen all day who are hiking the PCT 2, who just walked by, and they said they think this is a really beautiful section. I mean, look at this. It's just it's very unique. Very unique. I'm pretty sure this is volcanic rock. I got it a little wet just so the color comes out more, but I've been seeing pieces of these as I've been walking. Kind of lightweight. It's just so majestic with the snow and the shape. Big fan. So the wind's blowing. There's a lot of ditch trees there I just passed, and I heard the similar noise to what I heard last night. Not the animal noise. There were 2 things going on, but the tree noise. I said it sounded like 3 trees falling. I think what just happened there is it's so loose, the wind blew it and it hit the tree next to it, but it didn't totally fall. So something was going on with the dead trees and the wind last night, but it doesn't mean it necessarily fell all the way. Well, my feet are aching a lot, but just like that, I have walked 19 miles through Lassen Volcanic National Park. I am now out, and it was a great little quest. Keep going here. Okay, in the next 42 miles, there's only 2,200 feet of elevation gain. Just to benchmark, I've already done over that today, and it's been an easier day in terms of terrain. And there's 5,400 feet of elevation descent, which can be challenging. I'm slower. I seem faster than most people going up, and I'm slower than most people going down. But this is great. Now, obviously, what I've learned in the PCT, what goes down must come up. But that tells me over the next 40 miles it's relatively flat and leaning to favor going down. So I'm gonna obviously have to probably make it up after that, but for now, I'll take my little wins when I can get them. Still gotta walk the miles, but it's a lot better than having to climb up a bunch right now. Let me tell you, I am hurting just about at 21 miles, or a little bit over 20 miles, and it's been easier terrain too, relatively speaking. Only gone up 2,600 and some change elevation. Down, haven't looked, but probably about the same. So this is just coming out of Lassen Volcanic National Park. You can see an immediate kind of terrain change. There's a bunch of ponderosa pines because I can smell the butterscotch, but then there's a bunch of these like lanes. Like I don't know if this is natural or not. This is the third one now in a row. It almost looks like planted, and then you have the lanes open like on a farm or something. But I don't believe that's what this is. I'll show you because here comes another one. It's like here's a bunch of trees, and then there'll just be a lane where it stops. It's like, it doesn't seem natural to me at all. Obviously one fell there, but. Okay, this one, it almost looks like a trail, maybe even tire marks from long ago. So, like you can clearly see that path. Like, is this like a tree farm? I know we left Lassen National Park. I don't know though. All right, I might be onto something here because this one's definitely a road. You can see the piles of lumber on both sides. This is U.S. Forest Preserve of some kind. I saw like the Forest Service logo on a sign, but I just came in here and I can hear the water definitely paralleling like a river or a creek here. And that was my next planned stop, is in about a quarter of a mile. There's a campsite by the water. My feet are killing me. I have had to stop many times, but it's been so hard these last couple miles to not stop. I just want to get here and get them elevated, but this will be in a quarter mile or so, that will be 25 miles on the day. It's been the last, I don't know exactly, but maybe 10 miles or so have been quite easy. So I'm very lucky for that, given my screw up with my food carry and the weight. Even though it's crushing me still right now, it would be way worse if it was more how the trail's been most of the time. So, little blessings here, but I very much need a break, and then I'm gonna try to do like 3 to 5 more, call it a day. Here's where I was trying to get to. It said tent site and access to the water. I would call this a river. I gotta look it up, but this looks very river. Warrants a river title to me. This is a beautiful site, and I'm tempted to camp here, but I've only done 25, and I want to try to push 5 more, even though I'm so beat up. And there's no water for 8 miles, and then there's some really long water carries after that. So I've actually decided to cook dinner here, so I have to carry water for overnight, dinner and overnight. So I'll just take water for the 8 miles from here and for sleeping, but I won't have to take water to cook. I'm not even hungry still from lunch, but I'm just gonna make it and then get these 5 last miles in. Such a nice spot though. I'm very tempted to stay. Man, getting moving again after that break. I'm literally hobbling. Like right when my left foot touches the ground, I feel it just feels wrong. Like in the top of the foot, like something's fractured or something. It does warm up once I get going, but like every time I stop, it's hurting a lot. Like this, when I start up again, it's not good. So there's gonna be some longer water carries coming up here, even though the terrain is agreeable, where it's flat or down, not too much uphill. There's gonna be water carries, which is really, really unfortunate given I already have a super heavy pack. So right now it's 8 miles to some cave that you can go into, which I think I'll try to get close to that in camp tonight. I'm gonna try to do like 5 more. So that'd put me around 30 on the day, which would be a record, I think, for me, or close to it. But I'm gonna try to get close to this next water source, which is actually accessed through a cave. It's supposed to be kind of cool. It takes about 30 minutes, so I'll just do that in the morning and get moving. But man, my foot hurts a lot right now. This is not good. on top of like the plantar fascia and just the general achiness and throbbing. Like I feel so beat up right now. I swear I have the worst service on trail. All the people from Europe, and I swear, they come here get these eSIMs and they bounce around providers and carriers. So like if AT&T's got good coverage, they get AT&T. If Verizon has good coverage, they get Verizon. And just having Verizon out here, it's been horrible. And it seems worse than other people have Verizon too. I can't even get a few text messages out to friends that I was trying to get out now. Very annoying, but I gotta save my battery, so I gave up. I had 1 bar LTE and nothing was sending out. This is, God, my left foot is hurting so bad. Every step. That was one of the text messages I was trying to get out to my friend Kyle, who's a physical therapist, to see if a stress fracture would quote unquote warm up and hurt a little less as I walk more. But anyways, this is kind of the terrain I think it's going to be for the rest of the miles for the day. So not pretty smooth sailing, even though I'm hurting. Very spaced out here to the left, a little denser to the right. The sun just set behind, or didn't set, but it just dipped down behind those trees. My feet are hurting so much that I literally couldn't walk the 5 miles from when I stopped to dinner straight without stopping and elevating them. They're like throbbing, they're just so achy. The Achilles, or not the Achilles, the plantar fascia are sore. Like even in my individual toes are like kind of tingly, throbbing. And then I have this issue with my left foot that I had before I got into Chester that I thought got better and it didn't. Had a little climb here. It's a great view of Mount Lassen at sunset here. As I was climbing, just thinking about how I'm so absolutely mentally fatigued of having real pain 80 to 90%, probably 90+% of my time on this trail. I mean, it's just absurd. I can't catch a break. I try to increase my mileage one day and then I pay the consequence every time. I just passed the road that you would take to get to Old Station, the town. It's like 50 people or something, very small, but it is actually a little spread out down Highway 44. And I've been reading in the comments, there's people who basically would walk the 0.3 or 0.4 miles to get to kind of the first part of town and then hitch all the way down US 44 to go to this like cafe they want to go to and then get right back on the trail. However, that's skipping like a couple miles. I have to do the math, but probably call it 3 miles or so, maybe 4 of trail. Like, that's just not the stuff I do, but like, I definitely kind of, I don't want to say miss out on stuff, but I'm probably a little further behind because I'm not skipping little corners like that, but people do that. Yeah, I just checked. It says 3.9 miles, and I just walked probably like 0.1 or 2, so a little over 4 miles. That people skip and end up getting like ice cream and nice treats in the process. Instead, I am trekking along down the trail, and I'm sure my guess would be the majority of people hike these miles in between that parallel the town. And again, the town's like kind of spread out in 2 spots. So that's the 4 mile gap down Highway 44. But definitely seems like there's more than a few that kind of take these shortcuts when they're presented. So I initially budgeted in terms of food carry 7 days for 170 miles, which was 6 full days at 25 miles a day, and then kind of 2 half days making up the 7th, but 2 half days to get to the delta of 20 miles. But I'm gonna see if my body can take it and hold up and do 100 or do 30 today and try to do that the next few days. Because if I do 30 for 5 days, that shaves off an entire day. Because right, 30 times 5 is 150. 6 times 25 is 150. So if I could shave off a day by doing 5 extra miles for these 5 full days, I'm gonna try to do that because I need every day I can get right now. Got 1 mile left and my body is not doing great. All right, I just set up my tent. You can't see any of it. But that was the end of day 96. I am alone deep in the woods here, but close to a highway, so I can hear cars come by once in a while. Hit 30 some miles, I think, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow.